he said, and I quote, "It's pronounced exactly how you think it would be pronounced." Hi guys, it's Jim here with another episode of Beers of the British Isles. On today's episode, we've got something kind of trendy. Today, we're drinking Green Curve Kveik IPA from North Brew Co. North Brew Co, I've covered them before. They're one of the shining stars of Leeds, which we all know isn't difficult in Leeds. But North Brew Co, great brewery, great beers coming out of there. Check them out. Check out my other videos for a more detailed description. This is actually, I didn't realize this is actually a collab. So we've got North Brew Co, Leeds, collabing with Stillwater Artisinal from Baltimore. And the only things I know about Baltimore are The Wire, Hairspray, unfortunately, and comedian Ryan Sickler. And after spending about half an hour on their website, I still know way more about those things than I know about Stillwater. They have an absolutely terrible website. They seem to be making beer from Baltimore. In fact, this is how bad the website is. After doing research for the beer, I had to Google, where are Stillwater based? But anyway, yeah, collaboration, North Brew Co, Stillwater. This is an IPA. It's a Kveik IPA, Kveik IPA. Kveik is a new kind of yeast that, well, I say new, it's been around for about it's been trendy for about a year. It's Norwegian origin. If you've never heard of it before, you're about to. So let's dig into this IPA and learn all about Kveik. Okay, we're in the glass. Got a nice tall glass of Green Curve with a pretty good head. I'm going to say that now because I'm about to ramble, but the head looks pretty good from where I'm sitting right now. Now this beer, Green Curve, I don't have loads of information about it. So it's 6.5% alcohol. It's vegan. It's I don't know the IBUs. I don't even really know anything about the grist other than it has oats in it, but so does everything. The hops, it's hopped with, it's actually, yeah, so this is interesting. It's dry hopped with Dorado and Sabro. Two really kind of heavy hitters, really. Two really cool hops. But the breweries don't sing about that at all. Instead, they choose to focus on this weird word that no one really knows how to say. This Norwegian word, this Kveik word. So what is it? I'm gonna give it a sniff since we've spoken about the hops. So the oats clearly coming through there in the body. Very nice haze to the beer. Very good colour. I imagine it was early dry hopped as well to get that amount of haze. Yeah, very good, kind of delicious, kind of, you know, everything you would imagine from those hops, yet the brewery still focus on this weird word that no one knows how to pronounce. Kveik. Now, in advance of this episode, I did ask my Danish friend who speaks Norwegian how to pronounce this word, and he said, and I quote, "It's pronounced exactly how you think it would be pronounced." So I still don't know how to pronounce it, basically. I'm going to say, for the rest of this, I'm going to say Kveik. It breaks the I before E except after C rule, which I'm not too fond of. But it's a yeast. It's a kind of yeast that's kind of been resurrected. It's a Norwegian yeast that was, it was discovered hidden in a log. So some brewers, well, I guess brewers from years gone by, we could make some kind of romantic story about Vikings, but I mean, I don't know who it was. They would, I guess, at the end of the brews, they would dunk a log into the yeast cake and then dry it out very quickly. And then the next time they brewed a beer, they would dunk that log into their beer, and the yeast would kind of just, it was kind of the first iterations of yeast washing, is what Kveik was a product of. People hail it as a super yeast. It can do everything. It can ferment clean beers at low temperatures. It can ferment dirty beers clean beers at high temperatures. You know, it's supposed to be the best. So let's see what it brings to the table here. The aroma's very nice and juicy. It's a real pineapple tropical flavor, but at the back it has a nice lemony aroma. Very full-bodied. That's really good. That's really got a really good mouthfeel. And it's actually quite bitter, to be honest. Way more bitter than I would imagine this beer, looking at it, to be. Yeah, the hop flavors are kind of spiky, nice and citrusy. There is that bitter edge to it, like I say, like right up front, but it's got a real sort of, I would describe this as a soft tropical fruit flavor. So, kind of like peach, not so much passion fruit, but it's got that real kind of like rounded full palate flavor that is really quite well done. Okay, let's sum this up then. Let's sum up Green Curve. And for the continuity spotters out there, I have just topped up my beer in between the last little segment there. So, like I say, this beer looks great. It has an absolutely fantastic head, a great haze to it, and a real nice light colour, which emphasises the effect of that haze. The amazing thing about this, and I sort of sold it a little bit at the start there, is that the breweries have decided to call this a Kveik IPA. And I guess I don't know really, because I mean, without knowing what the IPA would taste like fermented with the different yeast, I don't know that the Kveik is bringing loads of flavour to it, because that's kind of what it's supposed to do, if that makes sense. As a drinker, you can be fooled into thinking that, this Kveik yeast that appears just everywhere on this can, it's one of the ingredients. Hops, they haven't even talked about the hops on the can of an IPA. They haven't made mention of the hops, but they have made mention of the yeast. This Kveik thing is a real sort of buzzword at the minute, I guess. And it is a good beer, don't get me wrong. It's not like they've made it and it tastes like crap. It's quite nice. I just think it's interesting that they've chosen to market it as a Kveik IPA and not a Sabro Dorado IPA, because I would argue that Sabro with beer drinkers is equally as trendy. I mean, I don't know. I like the thing. Anyway, that's my rant over. Let's sum this up. Yes, so the aroma's really nice actually. You can tell this has been sort of well dry hopped. I don't say heavily, because I don't know that it has been heavily dry hopped, but they've used the dry hops well, because the aroma pulls through so nicely. Like I say, it's quite tropical, it's quite pineapple-y, but there's just that nice citrus edge that really cuts through it. The mouthfeel is fantastic. I think it has the mouthfeel of a beer that I would imagine to buy in like a tap room or something, rather than in a can from a supermarket. Yeah, there's an interesting flavour to it. I'm not quite sure what it is, whether it's the yeast or not. That being said, if I were to rate this beer on a scale of 0 to 10, I'm going to give this beer a solid 6. It's got really, really good mouthfeel. It looks amazing. I think the balance is a touch off on this one. It does have those juicy flavors, but it has an awful lot of bitterness to it as well. There's no malt, which is fine. I just feel like that could have come together a little bit more. But it is nice. Like I say, definitely get out there, get yourself a green curve. And more than that, look out for this Kveik yeast stuff. Get down to your local bottle shop, ask them if they have any Kveik beers in, and let me know what you think. Let me know if it's worthy of the praise that it's getting in the brew world. So as you sip your green curve, stick on the song Fever Dog by the band Stillwater. Obviously Stillwater may have a terrible website, but they've made a half decent beer here. So until next time, guys, cheers.